I'm gonna be wrapping my car. Except, I don't know how to wrap.
Fight! I want bands!
A car. First thing I needed to do was pick a color, and this was honestly a super hard decision. There are so many different colors out there, but I wanted something that would be unique and stand out. I looked up some colors that other MR2s were wrapped in, and the colors that really stood out to me were blue, purple, and pink. And dude, look at how sick this pink MR2 is. I asked some of my friends what they thought about the pink. Yeah.
I don't need friends. They disappoint me.
I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but I love the pink. So I decided to ask you guys. I put up a poll on Instagram on what color I should wrap it, pink, purple, blue, or just keep it red. Because I knew you guys would come in clutch and pick the same color that I wanted. So I waited for the poll to be over, and of course, blue? Are you kidding me? That was my last option out of the 3 colors that I picked. So I needed to think harder. I needed to think of something new, something different, something that no other MR2 was wrapped in. So I made my decision, picked a color, and now it was time to wait. But instead of waiting 5 years for this thing to ship, I figured I might as well make myself busy and do some other things to the car, like these eyebrows that are falling apart. And I don't know why they call them eyebrows. They should be called eyelashes. There's a way to screw them off, but I didn't have a stubby screwdriver to fit in there. So I resorted to a different tool, because I wasn't gonna be using these things anyways. I got one side done and I did the other side.
What the heck?
But already it was looking way better than before. So I decided to get a couple more things, like a new shifter boot and a new shifter knob, because the ones that were on the car were just ugly. They came in the next day and it was time to install them. I just feel like this is kind of dumb, that I have to take out the whole stinking console to just install this little thingy. Like, I want one simple little modification of the car and I have to tear everything out. Wish me luck. This is kind of gonna be fun. This is like my first car mod. I kind of feel like I'm playing GTA 5 or something right now. Like going to the shop. Kind of cool. What is that even for? Okay, we got a screw right here, screw right here. Hopefully you guys don't see the hole in my butt. What? Or like the hole in my... You get what I'm trying to say, right? I'm not even wearing underwear right now. I've seen people take the seats actually out before they take this out, but I don't know if I want to do all that. How do you even get a wrench in that stinking thing? All right. I guess we don't have to take out the chair. Oh, God. I don't know if I'm certified to do this. So I sat there for about 35 minutes to try to take this center console out. But I got one piece off, couldn't get the rest, so I decided to watch a YouTube video.
A couple screws inside the glove. Cigarette lighter area. Right there.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. I thought I figured out the problem and I resorted to taking the chair out.
Why are you taking the seats out?
Huh? I don't necessarily need a seat to drive. Got the seat out. Let's go. Okay, now that I got the seat out, now I can get that one screw that I couldn't get. Oh, I got it. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, is that just for the cup? All right.
Let's keep that out for now.
I got the cigarette lighter. Oh! Ha! I needed to do that. There was a screw where the ashtray was. Now for the real moment of truth. Let's go. Yeah, boy. Yeah, look at that dusty thing. All right, well, that only took about 2 hours. From there, I cut off the old shifter boot from the thing that latches it in, and I realized it was actually sewn on, and when I put the new boot on, it just wasn't really staying on there. Now, I have no idea how to sew, and I didn't feel like calling up my grandma to help me out with it, so I figured the best way to go about it was... I think I'm just gonna use some duct tape. So I slapped some duct tape inside there, and it seemed to work out pretty good. I don't know how long it's gonna last for, but I mean, it works. Then I put the center console back onto the car, and by the way, this was a huge accomplishment because I wouldn't consider myself as a car guy. I screwed in the new shifter knob. Yeah. Let's get shifty. So I screwed back in the center console, made sure everything was snug. I put back in the seat, locked it down, and honestly, this thing turned out sick. And I still had a little bit before the wrap came in, so I figured I'd fix up a few other things like the windshield wipers. They had a little bit of rust on them, so I took those things off, sanded that rust off, and once all the rust was gone, I wiped them down and spray painted them black. I feel like little things sometimes just go a long way. I put those back on the car, and things were coming together. After that, it was time to prepare because the wrap was coming in the next day. So I went up to an auto store to grab some things that I'll need to use for the wrap, like this squeegee that I was very excited to use. And I went up to Walgreens to grab something that professional wrappers use, which is 70% isopropyl alcohol. There was one that was clear and one that was green. And at the time, I didn't really know the difference between the two, so I just picked the cheaper option. It's green. From there, I went back home and used that new thing that I picked up from the auto store, which was a 3M eraser wheel that was $38. Oh my God. I didn't even realize it cost that much until I was editing this video. I really spent $38 on. The reason why I bought it is because there's a pinstripe that goes across the car, and I needed to use this to get the pinstripe off my car. So I put that thing on my drill, and don't judge me for my drill. Yes, it's Ryobi and I like it and I use it all the time. Shut up. Did I have to charge it about 5 times while I was getting this pinstripe off? Yes, but you know what? It's a good, nice, quality. Stinking drill. Okay, yeah, it might suck sometimes, but it is reliable. But after a couple hours, I got all the pinstripes off, and the reason why I took them off is because it would show through on the wrap. But after I got the pinstripe off, it was time to prep the car. So I ended up whipping out my hose and...
What do you mean by that?
And I gave this thing a beautiful car wash because the car has to be spotless before you touch it with any sort of vinyl. So I made sure everything was super clean, but I dried up the car and I was ready for tomorrow. The wrap finally came in. It is time, baby. I didn't even give you guys the option to pick what color. I want this color. Did I honestly want pink? Yeah, I did. But you guys didn't. And if you guys won't let me have something, then I'm not having you guys have something.
What?
I'm going tan. Well, it's time. I think I'm gonna end up doing the door first. Thought about doing the hood, but it kind of scares me. So I gotta try the door first. I'm kind of terrified right now. Let's try this. So I measured out the door and you can see that I got a little excited and I ended up wrapping the gas cap just to make sure that I was able to do this first. So I laid out the vinyl, measured it out, and got to work. I cut my first piece. And it was time to prep the surface. And you remember that green isopropyl alcohol that I ended up getting from the store? I didn't know why it was green at the time until I smelt it. Whoa, it smells green.
Yeah, boy.
Winter green. That's why it was green. Okay, my car's about to be smelling good. But I wiped the surface down. I stuck the vinyl on the door because I needed to glass out the vinyl, which is a technique where you get it as flush to the car as you can, so you get no wrinkles and no bubbles. This was actually pretty challenging because the mirror was getting in my way. So I took the vinyl back off and looked up a YouTube video on how to remove the mirror. Screw that. I figured I could just work around it, so I put the vinyl back on, and now it was time to glass this thing out. And dude, this was challenging in itself. I watched so many videos and did so much research to try to prepare for this, but honestly, I don't think anything could have prepared me for this because you just have to get a feel for it. Okay, so now that I got this thing glassed out, I'm gonna go in with the squeegee. If you can't tell, I am sweating like crazy. Oh my gosh. People make this look so easy online. Dude, I'm over here yanking with it. I'm fighting with it, but it don't got me beat yet. But let's whip out the squeegee and let's start squeegeeing this thing. Now after watching this back, I can see where I'm going wrong right now. You're supposed to start with the squeegee in the middle of the vinyl and work your way out so you don't end up getting any bubbles like that one right there. Nah, but you see that right there? That thing just worked its way right out. So technically I did a good job glassing out the vinyl, but I started getting a little confident with the squeegee, and that's when I got this. A bubble. But not just any bubble.
It's the dirty bubble.
This is way harder than I thought it was gonna be. So I had to completely take up the left side of the vinyl just to get that little bubble out.
Oh my God.
But I'm glad that I did that because it did end up coming out. Quick little intermission, I'm sweating. What's new? Today, when I was out cutting the grass, I found this cute little baby frog. Oh my God, look how cute he is. Look at how stinking cute this little guy is. Oh my God. Also, I found these little crickets outside and I scooped them up, threw them in there. I don't know if he's gonna eat them or not, but I just wanted to show him. I think the best name for him would be Bubbles. Definitely took a turd. Now I prepped for this. I had like 5 years for this wrap to come in. I watched so many videos, did so much research, paid $670 something on the wrap, bought the 70% isopropyl alcohol, the squeegee, the tools. I prepped for everything, but the one thing you see all professional rappers using is a heat gun. And you really think I didn't prepare for that? No, I didn't. I didn't buy a stinking heat gun. I actually don't know if this is gonna work or not, but it's worth the shot. I am going to attempt to cut out this door handle. I'm very scared about this part, but I was able to cut out the door handle and I ended up tucking in all the edges. I was trying to be as careful and detailed as I could so you wouldn't see any red. I was really just trying to take my time on everything because one small mistake and I'd have to remove the entire wrap. Well, I ran into my first problem. Yeah, when I was smoothing that edge out with the glove on, I seemed to rip the vinyl. I mean, it ripped right at the corner. It might look better this way, actually. It really wasn't that big of an issue because I ended up just cutting along that line, but I cut out the entire door and tucked all the edges. I am finally done with just the door. This took me like 4.5 hours. I am terrified to do the rest of this car. It's about like 8 o'clock right now, so I'm about to get some sleep and wake up early and just grind on this. I did not think this was gonna be this challenging, but it is pretty flippin' challenging. Like, there's some imperfections that I can see, but I mean, except we're not really done yet, and it just did the door, so. Turned out pretty sick though. Good morning. Yes, I'm wearing the same pants, I don't care. First up, starting off with this quarter panel. Let's not mess around, get straight down to business. I guess when the guy that I bought it from was putting on these wheels, he ended up kind of dinging the quarter panel. It looks pretty ugly, but I'm gonna try to work around it. Cutting everything out was super satisfying. I know it really doesn't look the best right here because that's where the fender was dinged up, but I finished with that, started working on the rear quarter panel. I wiped everything down, stuck the vinyl on, and just in case if you guys were wondering what happened to Bubbles, I did end up letting him go. I know he's extremely cute, but listen, I got enough responsibility on my hands. Worked around my first curve, which was a learning curve in itself.
Boy, if you don't.
It is the next day. I grinded a lot, I think. I'm very slow at this, I've realized. Today I'm gonna try to speed things up, but still do it good. I think I'm gonna start on the trunk today. So I started by taking off the spoiler, which wasn't really that hard. It was just a couple of little bolts, and I unplugged where the top brake light was because look at how crusty and dusty this trunk was. We can't put vinyl on top of that, so I wiped that thing down, got it sparkling clean, and you guys might be thinking, why am I wrapping over the badges on the car? I should have took those things off, right? Well, no, I'm not. I wrapped straight over them, which I'll end up getting into later why, but onto the trunk hood thing, I don't know what it's called. This part took absolutely forever. Having to cut out all the small holes and tucking them in just took way too long. This was the most tedious part about wrapping the car. I don't even know how many hours it took me to do this, but it took a lot.
Hello, how are you?
I don't even know what day it is. And the biggest issue right now is the stinking spoiler. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Wrapping this corner is just, it was so hard. Like, I don't even know how to get in there. Like, it's very hard.
That's what she said.
I went on Amazon last night and I ordered some knifeless tape. So I'm gonna wait for this tape to come in, but right now I'm gonna probably put the spoiler to the side and just work on everything else. Like the bumper, I thought this would be pretty easy. Yeah, there might be a couple curves in the thing, but I can work around that. I got the hair dryer. I worked on this for a couple of hours, and we're just not gonna talk about how this ended up turning out. But I finally got in the knifeless tape, so I figured it was time to work on the spoiler. And listen, when I put my mind to do something, I'm like a perfectionist. I'll study every little detail. I'll make sure everything's right, so I'm doing it right. But dude, wrapping this spoiler and just wrapping the car in general, this is like the first time in my life where I've tried something and I literally couldn't get the hang of it. I felt like I was doing a good job, and then I come back a couple hours later and I see some corners peeling, bubbles in the wrap that I totally got out when I put the vinyl on, but just showed up later. The whole reason why I wanted to wrap my car in the first place is so I could try to save some money, because instead of paying like $4,000 for a wrap, I figured I could just do it for like $700 in supplies and wrap. Wrapping this made me realize that the price these people are charging for wraps, I get it. I completely understand why they charge so much. My legs were hurting, my arms were hurting, and dude, don't even get me started with my fingertips. Almost every night I was doing this, I was dunking my hands in a bowl with ice. But after like 6 days straight of like non-stop working on this thing, I finally finished.
That's what she said.
I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check.
And remember how I said I was covering up the decals with the wrap? That's because I got some new details from this place called Push to Start. They wrote me a nice little letter too, but I put the front decal on and it was looking so good, and I put the back decal on. Other than my whole garage smelling like wintergreen, I was pretty happy the way things turned out. It looks really good from far away at least. But yo guys, that right there is gonna wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And as always, I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.